Peter Weng, the CEO of Healthy Minds Innovations, the nonprofit that is focused on cultivating and measuring well-being. And we are continuing our weekly meditations during the pandemic period. This week's meditation, we are focused on the theme of appreciation. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to chat in the chat box and just say hello and say where you're from. I know this is a timely topic for us. I think this is a very challenging week. We're broadcasting here. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, and I think the entire state is mourning and in turmoil due to the shooting of Jacob Blake. We have also lots of news coming in from other places. I moved here last year from Santa Cruz, California, which has been burning, and I think at least 500 houses have been lost already, and many of my friends there have evacuated. And so we're hearing that. This week I was just attending a training run by the AAJC in Hollaback on bystander intervention and issues of anti-Asian American kind of violence and discrimination. And they had a poll that expressed how 60% of Asian Americans have witnessed some type of anti-Asian sentiment, anti-Asian American sentiment expressed during this pandemic period. So there's a lot of really challenging things happening in our society right now. It's been a very difficult time, I'm assuming, for almost everybody, and it has been for many people for maybe their entire lives. And so the topic of appreciation is for us to think about how do we also still retain the ability to appreciate what is going on, despite the fact that we have so many things that are going against us. I know in the training that I was doing this week, they were calling out the need for us to stay resilient, the need for us to be able to be resilient and continue and work on the things that we care about and we feel are important. I was also struck last week, a good friend of mine, Catherine, who runs is one of the managers at the Willie Street Co-op Market in town here. I hadn't seen her in a while, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, hello, what are you looking forward to?" And I realized in this period, that is not necessarily something that I had been spending a lot of energy thinking about. It's been a lot of planning and trying to be responsible and thinking about appropriate actions. And so it was a very interesting question, and it really struck me. So there's something that I feel like is interesting for us to think about, things that we appreciate in our lives, things that we look forward to. And so our practice today, what we'd like to do is spend some time, as Stephanie did earlier in the week, is for us to think about and observe things that we can appreciate. So we'll start with some simple things and also think about that are directly in terms of our body and our location, and then also think about actions. So let's do a practice together. I'd ask you to sit in a way that allows you to be comfortable, relaxed but alert. If you're sitting in a chair, upright, you can close your eyes if you prefer, or if you prefer to keep them open, to avert your gaze down. And if you are looking to adopt a different posture, I would just again try to have a position that allows you to be alert but relaxed. And let's settle into this position with several deep breaths. Resuming normal breathing, let's observe the breath and appreciate the breath. So please notice what it feels like to breathe. Do you notice what is the most obvious signal to you that you're breathing? Is it the movement of your chest? Do you feel the air as it rushes in and out of your nose and mouth? Where do you notice breathing? I encourage you to consider appreciating the breath. We breathe continuously throughout the day. It's an automatic function that just sustains us. We breathe in oxygen that has been supplied by our earth, supplemented by our plants. We exhale carbon dioxide that helps sustain the plants in turn. And our breath is something that automatically happens. We don't have to consciously think about it, but we can also regulate it. And we can use it to help us regulate our emotions, calm ourselves down, help ourselves go to sleep. There are many different functions of the breath. So we can appreciate the breath. Let's turn our attentions to our body overall. I encourage you to think about, how does your body feel right now? What do you notice about your body? Maybe you can notice the overall sense of your body and the position that you're in. Maybe you can notice if there are muscles that are tense or relaxed in your body. Can you notice the sensations on the skin, the temperature of the air in the room, or wherever you're at? Maybe the sensations of clothing on your skin. If you have areas of pain, be noticing what areas have pain. Can you notice areas that do not have pain? And then to consider an appreciation for the body. The body has an unbelievable number of cells that are all interacting constantly. We have parts of ourselves that are constantly growing and dying, thinking about skin cells, hair cells, internal cells. We have complex processes. We have many bacteria and viruses that are interacting with our body constantly. Some of them may cause us harm, but some of them are symbiotic. For example, the bacteria in our gut that allow us to digest. And even some that cause us harm may be beneficial in some way. There is a theory that viruses were actually what allowed the creation of the placenta. Considering how our body allows us to move throughout the world. The functions of the body, of the heart beating and circulating blood, all of the functions of the muscles allow us to live and allow us to do the things that we find meaningful. It's allowing us to think, to practice this meditation together. Let's appreciate the body. Now I'd like you to consider something that you did in the last week that you found meaningful or rewarding or joyful. What was something that you did in the last week that was meaningful or rewarding or joyful? Please recall that activity. I'd like you to bring it to mind. See if you can remember the details, what happened, the specifics of the actions. Can you remember how your body felt then, or how your body feels now? The sensations, or if you can notice the feelings and emotions, to recall them from doing something that you found meaningful, rewarding, or joyful. I'd like you to consider what conditions allowed you to be able to do that activity that was meaningful, rewarding, or joyful. What conditions existed to allow that to happen? And I ask you to appreciate the action and the conditions that allowed it to happen. So let's bring appreciation for being able to do something that was meaningful, rewarding, or joyful, and the conditions that allowed it to happen. And then I'd like you to consider, what are you looking forward to? What is something that you can do in the next week that will be meaningful, rewarding, or joyful? Please consider what it is you can do in the next week that will bring meaning to you, or be rewarding, or bring joy. I encourage you to notice how your body feels as you contemplate this action that you look forward to. What do you notice in the body? Any reactions in the body, or feelings, emotions? I encourage you to make a commitment to do this action that will bring you meaning, or that you find rewarding, or will bring joy to you. And with that, I'd like to close this practice. Feel free to open your eyes if you had them closed. Thank you for joining in that practice together. We just spent some time appreciating the functions of our body, thinking about how it sustains us, appreciating something that we've done recently, and appreciating and committing to something that we can do upcoming. And I'd encourage you to consider, whenever you need to have some additional energy or resilience, to think about things that you can appreciate and ways to cultivate a sense of appreciation even in the midst of difficulty. And I'm seeing folks saying hello from different parts of the country. Great to see you from, it's like Washington State and Ohio, Wisconsin, Florida. Thank you. Thank you for joining with us. If you would like to have more information about our practices, our information is available. There's a link on the side. It is Healthy Minds Innovations. We have created the Healthy Minds Program app, which goes through our entire mental well-being framework, and that we have made freely available. It's supported by donations. We also have public classes. Our newest one, our actually first open to the public class, will start October 20th, and that will be an 8-week class. And information is on our website. We'd love to continue to explore this together, and as we are looking at how do we support our own and others' mental well-being. And one of the ways that we can do that is through the practice of appreciation. So thank you for joining us.